For all the foregoing, the Chicago School of Professional Psychology hereby confers upon you the Honorable L. Tammy Duckworth, the honorary degree of Doctor of Psychology, with all the rights, duties, opportunities, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, President Horowitz, and good afternoon to the graduates, friends, and family of the class of 2009. Thank you for inviting me to share in your achievement here today and to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the school. Before I start my remarks, could I have all the veterans, both on stage and in the audience, to please stand and be recognized for your service to our nation? Thank you. The Chicago School of Professional Psychology trains more psychology professionals each year than any other nonprofit graduate university in the nation. As a wounded veteran and now a voice for veterans throughout the country, I am here to tell you that that work that you will be doing is invaluable. Our country is engaged in several conflicts throughout the world. The needs of our veterans, especially for their health and well-being, are greater than ever. The President's vision for a Department of Veterans Affairs to transform it into a 21st century organization is one that requires your help. This transformation is demanded by new times, new technology, new demographic realities such as the rise of women veterans, and new commitments to today's veterans. The number of patients who serve in operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom will rise to over 419,000 in 2010. This is 61% higher than in 2008. There are nearly 6.1 million veteran patients throughout the country. Inevitably, some of you in this room will treat and work with some of these veterans. The veterans of our country need your help. There is a critical need for more mental health services to returning veterans. We need the expertise that you learn here at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. Without professionals like yourself, I would not be here today. Those of you who know what it's like to sustaining life-altering injuries know what it takes to rebuild one's life afterwards. One of the biggest challenges during my recovery was really managing the difference between my own expectations for myself versus the expectations that other people had for me. Many people who are severely wounded have their initial fears of a life destroyed replaced by the understanding that they can do just about anything. This is only achieved by the high expectations of all of the professional healthcare staff that surround them and encourage them. Unfortunately, our society sometimes fails to understand that losing a leg or suffering a brain injury or suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder does not mean that life has to end. This is where you and the incredible work that you do come into play. It is so important to keep expectations high. When I was recovering, there was a time when we thought that I might not have been able to keep my right arm. And there was a time when I was in therapy that I could not move my right arm for about 6 months. And I was in the therapy room one day, and they were measuring the grip strength that I had in my right hand. And I was squeezing as hard as I could on the device that measured how many pounds of pressure I could apply with my fingers. And it was registering 0. And I was putting every bit of effort I had in my body into squeezing that stupid little device. And it was still showing 0. And I was sweating, and I was just giving it everything that I had. And I was simply devastated because I wanted to fly again. I wanted to get on with my life. That day, at that time, I reached, for me, a bottoming out point in terms of hope. I was very lucky, though, because there was a health professional in the room, Colonel Howard, who saw me, and he was the head of the occupational therapy program. And he realized that I had reached a turning point where I could either regain my hope or I could lose it. And he came to me and he said, "Tammy, you do have strength in that hand. Let me show you." And I said, what do you mean? I can't even register anything above a 0 on that stupid little thing. I hated that little device by this point. And he grabbed a piece of paper, and he gave it to me, and he said, hold this piece of paper. And I picked up my right hand, my right arm with my left arm, because I couldn't hold it up on its own, and I held onto that piece of paper. And he said, see, you have enough strength to hold this piece of paper. And tomorrow, you're going to hold 2 pieces of paper. And the next day, you're going to hold 3. And pretty soon, you'll be able to hold up a whole ream of paper. And you know how heavy that is. It wasn't much. It was a fragile little thread of hope that he gave me that day. But that thread of hope was what I needed. It was more than enough, and I clung to it. And it kept me coming back to therapy. And when I went back to my room at the hospital that night, I knew that I at least had the strength to hold a piece of paper. And it might take 300, 400, 500 days, but I was going to hold a ream. And that's what you bring in your profession. It is the expertise and the skills you have, but that connection, that thread of hope that someday you may give someone, a fragile little thread of hope that will make the difference in their life. In the Army, we live and die by the soldier's creed, whose first few lines are, I will always place the mission first. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade behind, and I will never accept defeat. That creed hung on the wall of my hospital room and gave me the strength to keep trying. I will tell you that while you may not face a test of your body in your life, you will in your career face tests of your character and your commitment and your professionalism. When you are asked to compromise your standards or to promote hate and discrimination instead of service and respect, you should remember what you learned here from this school and from one another. You must remain true to the vision of becoming leaders who work with others to build healthy, engaged, and vibrant communities. You must never quit, you must never accept defeat, and you must never leave one of your patients behind. In everything that you do, remember to keep your commitment to the common good. What you have learned here at the Chicago School will allow you to help others. You will be the leaders who make the difference in health and well-being of people throughout the world. But also remember that every person in your team and in your community is important. Too often, we underestimate other people's potential, letting their current circumstances cloud our opinion of what they can do. As you go forth in your careers, remember that it is sometimes the humblest of persons that you meet who will help you make the biggest difference in the world. I am truly grateful for the opportunity to serve those who have risked everything for the good of our country. Like our military men and women, you too have chosen a path to put the needs of the greater good and the needs of others above your own. The knowledge that you gain here, the experiences you had in your classes and in your field work will be invaluable wherever your career takes you. It's with heartfelt pride that I congratulate you on your personal achievements here today and the contribution that you will make to our nation and our world in the days to come. Thank you so very much. God bless our troops who are in harm's way today, and always, God bless America. Thank you.